I'm Richard Boyce, and welcome back to Retro Computing Halifax. Last episode, an old friend tipped me off, and Samantha and I traveled to Prospect, which seems appropriate since what we found was a retro computer gold mine. After some initial shock and the exchange of some money, I gleefully filled my Grand Caravan with retro tech. I brought it all back to the studio and laid it out on the big enter key for a quick overview. This episode will continue and have a closer look at everything here and unbox those boxes of sweet retro goodness. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is this 1541 floppy disk drive in the box. There's a sticker right here that says it's from Commodore Business Machines Limited at Pharmacy Avenue in Agincourt, Ontario. Let's get this box board off of here and we'll layer down. I like how they put the Commodore logo right into the foam. That's a nice touch. Okay, so the drive looks to be in really good condition. Not really much to do to it at all. As long as it works, I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, here is the box for a Commodore 64. It doesn't feel like there's anything in here, but we'll take a look anyway. One of the Commodore 64s that came actually has the same serial number as what's outside the box, so we'll probably put that in there once we have a look. Not in the best shape, but the box inside is. Here's a warning about unplugging the cartridge while the computer's on. And here we have a box full of air. Okay, so yeah, well, I'm going to take the computer with the matching serial number and just put it back in this box. Here's a Timex Sinclair 1000. Now, I already had one of these. This one actually used to belong to Adam from the Last Game Store. Local people probably know who that is. Unfortunately, the keyboard of this one doesn't work because there's damage to the traces to the keyboard, but this one, I'm told, works. I'm just going to have a look at the side here. I noticed there's no rubber grommets. The one that I already had actually has a rubber grommet where the power goes. This one does not. But I can see how it could easily fall out. I don't have the original AC adapter for the one I already had, but this one's a really odd voltage. Good luck trying to find this online. So that's 9.75 volts, 650 milliamps, tip positive. Now, I had a really hard time trying to find this myself online, so hopefully I've helped a few of you by reading this off to you. Just put it away here for now. Get that wire tucked back in there. And move on to something else. This is the 16K RAM expansion module for the Timex Sinclair 1000. Just plugs onto the back with an edge connector. Apparently it was notorious for disconnecting if you bumped it a little bit. So a lot of people actually use sticky tack to hold it onto the back of the computer to keep it from glitching when you're using it. This Atari 410 program recorder is basically just a cassette recorder made to store data. So it's got the cable that, it's the exact same kind of cable that the floppy disk drive for the Atari 8-bit family uses. Just get it out of here and have a look. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's carefully get it out of the box here. It matches the colors of the Atari 400 perfectly. Let's get that foam off. It's kind of stuck. The cord is actually fused to the foam. I'll have to pry it off here. Just gonna take a second. It definitely has not been out of this box for a long time, which is probably why it looks so good. There we go. And there is a copy of Slinky inside. Here's a Commodore 1541 drive that was made to match the Commodore 128. It's in fairly decent condition. A little cleanup, a little TLC. And here is the other one. It's technically the same drive, but as you can see, it has a different drive mechanism. It's nice to have one of each. This one's quite a bit more yellowed, so I'll have to do some retrobreading to that. In here we have the Atari 1050 floppy drive. Like I mentioned earlier, it has the same data connector as the Atari program recorder. They work on the Atari 8-bit family. It works on the Atari 400, the Atari 600, 800, XEGS. Oops, looks like I was opening it upside down. Let's just flip that over. It's in really great shape. It's adapters in there, and it doesn't look like it's yellowed at all. Let's try and get it out of here. Oops. Yeah, it's in really good condition. It's all white. Who knows when the last time this thing has seen daylight? That's in really great shape. I'm really happy to have that. So we'll put this lid on and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so I totally missed this in the previous video, but here is the Atari 400 I'm sure everyone saw. Notice on the box art it has a membrane keyboard. Let's just get that in the box here. Sometime in its lifetime, the keyboard has been upgraded to a full travel keyboard. Look at that. That's metal. They don't make them like that anymore. And that full travel keyboard, I'm sure, is a lot nicer to type on than the original one. So whoever put that keyboard in there, which was likely Quinn, whoever put that keyboard in there was using this computer a lot. have another look at it here. Now, some of the other Atari 8-bit family of computers actually have 2 cartridge slots here, whereas this one just had the 1, but the Atari 800, the original one, had 2, but no one ever used it, so in the Atari 600 and 800 XL, they didn't bother with it. So here is the Atari 800 XL's box. It does feel like there's something in there. I'm going to take it out, take the foam out, and see what we've got. I bet you it's the power brick. Yep, there it is. Glad to have that. So we'll just take the Atari 800 and put it in the box with its power supply. Put that cable back in there. There's a note on the top that says it doesn't work, so we'll come back to this later. Try and get what's left of this box back on the outside. Too bad it's not in better shape, but it's still good to have it. Helps keep together, keep the computer itself in better shape. It's better to have the box and have the computer in good shape when you're storing it. Although this box, I don't know, but we got it in there. Okay, so here is the VIC-20 I showed you last time. It's still in there with the data set and its power cord. Let's take the data set out here for a second. I have another one on the shelf behind me. I'll put it down so you can see that there's a slight difference. So notice on the one that came out of this box, it has the big Commodore logo splashed across the front, and the one that I had on my shelf only has a little one. Those are the 2 main variations of that style of data set that you see. Sometimes the counter, the tape counter, will be different colors as well. Now I'll just take out the VIC-20 so you can have a bit of a closer look. Notice here, this one has the rainbow strip that the Commodore 64 has. This Commodore monitor seems pretty neat. I'd never seen this model before, so I'm just going to plug it in and see if it turns on. Yeah, feeling that static spark there. It's powering up. Here we go. Power button was a little fidgety, but it's probably just because it hasn't been used in forever. So now I've got a bunch of the literature that was in that box that I had at the end of the desk. So I'm just going to pull all that out and lay it out for you here. And then we'll take a look at some of it individually. So you can see there's Atari catalogs and instruction manuals, and there's some programming guides put out by Compute Magazine. There's another catalog. Radio Shack catalog. Not the Radio Shack catalog, but their computer catalog. And this is a guide from a course that would have been taken years ago. As this is too. This is another course book. Just move some of this back out of the way. Just take a look inside the Atari catalog here in a second. There's the original Atari 800. There's the 8-bit line of computers available at the time, and some of the games and other software. There's the basic programming guide and the user manual for the Timex Sinclair 1000. Here's a Radio Shack computer guide from the Model 1 era. Here's one of 4 Wyco joysticks. The buttons on these ones are a little bit yellow. They feel like they're good. Just lay them out here for you, you can see. Now, Wyco came out with the command control joystick, which is the big red ones that a lot of you are probably familiar with. These are not those. They're still decent, but they're more of a step down. I always found the little pistol grip would turn in your hand. It is always kind of weird to me. But it feels like it's good. Everything's clicky like it's supposed to be. They actually don't have micro switches, but they're still an okay joystick. This joystick's kind of interesting. It has like an arcade kind of feel to it with that ball on the top. It's got a neat little ring here at the bottom. You pull it off and you turn it 90 degrees, and it switches it from a 4-direction mode to 8-direction mode. Here's a copy of Alpiner for the TI-99 4A. And Basic XL for the Atari 800 and 600 XL. Choplifter for the Atari 8-bit line. That's cool. I really like Choplifter. It's one of my favorite games from back in the day. And here's a copy of something on cassette. So this is a copy of Graphit for the Atari 8-bit line. Polar plots on side 1 and 3-dimensional XYZ plots on side 2. So what's left? We have 2 Atari 600 XLs, a Tandy, or should I say Radio Shack Color Computer 1. Now, a lot of people replace the keyboards in these just like they did on the Atari 400 because the keyboard might look kind of cool, but it is horrible to type on. I want to be an Epson when I grow up. Here's the floppy drive for the color computer. I don't have the cartridge or ribbon cable for it. The ribbon cable connects through an edge connector on the back. I'll just flip this around so you can see. There's the edge connector there. You just plug the ribbon cable into that and it goes into a cartridge that upgrades the BASIC to what they call Disk BASIC, and it adds commands for the drive. I don't have that, so I'll have to get one of those before I can use it. Here are the 2 TI-99 4As. Let's take a look at the beige one first. Now, while people criticize the beige one for being cheaper, it didn't do this. And that's something I'll have to fix. It had this cartridge in it, Picnic Paranoia. It didn't have that game already, so that's pretty cool. We'll have to give that a try. Let's just take a quick look at this printer here. It looks a little rusted at the top, so that kind of worries me, but let's see if she's seized up or anything. The spools seem to move, so that's a good sign. Did you know there's still a place here in Halifax that you can actually buy ribbons like this? See, Robertson Business Equipment on Kennard Street in Halifax actually still sells things like this. You go in there and it's like you're going through a time warp. It's like you're in the past. And this all seems to move. So I think if I just cleaned it up a bit, I think it actually stands a good chance of running properly. So quite clearly, I've got my work cut out for me. But that's great. I'm going to go through all of this piece by piece, video by video, and we're going to look at it all together and see what kind of stuff we can make it do, see what's wrong with some of it, fix it up, and other stuff will make it prettier, and it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone. And that's it for this unboxing video of my huge retro computer haul. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you take a moment to subscribe, then click the bell for notifications, then you'll get notified when I upload new content. I hope that I'll see you here again, or that you'll see me here again. Either way, I hope you come back and watch me again. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it retro.